So everyone should copy this home.jsx on the web folder website too, so that we can continue from this point. And I will see what other people have committed. So I'll say git status, git add, git commit, git pull, and then git push. So before I give you task for today, let's do this one. Let's do little bit changes in this file. Let's clean up this file, and then we'll go with. Okay, so let's clean up this file. So I will try to put this I will try to put this add in its own file. I'll put this listing in its own file, display count in its own file. So let me create different file. So first one will be add, and I will put add component here. So let's copy this add part and replace this function. It needs rich text area and button, so I will get this from here and put it here. Okay, so this is the one change I did. Second change will be to put the list in its own component. So I'll create a new file, list.jsx, and I'll put the list component here. And I will also put display count in its own component, own file. So as I'm doing, you should also do parallelly same thing. Just move the files in its appropriate, move the component in its appropriate file name. Okay, so I'll give you a couple of minutes to do that. Just 1 minute. Put add in add, list in list, display count in display count component. Okay, so if you have done it, we will move further. Now, yesterday we talked about the callback, and we will talk again about this callback today, because I feel that I have not explained completely about the callback, so I need to talk more about callback today. So to understand the callback, I will create one button here. This is a temporary button. Okay, now since I moved this add, list, and display count, so it is asking me that these are the missing here. So let's import them here. So I'll import all here, add from add, import list from list, import display count from display count. Okay, so I imported all the statements. So don't do the things which I am trying to do now. to explain you about the callback. So let me create one more parameter in the state, and I will give the counter name as counter with the value of 0. Okay, so we will come back to this now in a minute. Before that, I want to show you one more change. See this, my handle submit is using state.notes. Rather than state.notes, I will create one variable called as notes, which is nothing but the state.note, so that I can use this variable. So this is the state.notes. I put it in another variable so that I can use notes instead of state.notes. So wherever I have the state.notes, I will replace it with notes. Okay, so like in the handle submit, I will replace it with notes so that I should not refer the state part. Okay, I will directly refer the notes part. Another thing, add. If we go to the add component, we are using only the notes. We are not using state anywhere else. So rather than passing the state, we will pass the notes and we will grab it here notes. So that if I have 10 variables in the states, I should only care about the notes when I pass it to the add function or add component. So what I did, I changed it to notes instead of state.notes. Since I changed it to notes, in the home page, here I have to change to notes. So here I will say notes is equal to notes. So instead of passing state as a whole, I am passing notes. Why I am passing notes? Because I don't want to pass whole state to another component, because only I am using is notes. If I might have used other things, I will send that also to that page. Okay, so is this part clear? Why I am changing to notes? I'm using notes, and why I am using passing notes here, because I'm only using notes in the add function. Is that clear? Any questions on this? Okay, so let's move further. You can write down later, but I will commit the file. You can copy it in a bit. Just try to understand what I am trying to explain about the use callback. Today, 10-15 minutes, I will talk about the use callback, and then we will go further. So when I'm creating this function handle change, every time when we load this component, this is created a new function. Is it true or false? Again, whenever, let's say I change the state, I change the counter to 1, for example. Okay, or something is changed, I change the notes. Is this function created new function, or it's a copy of the old function which was rendered 1 minute back? Because this will render, when the page will load, this will render. So when I change the state, this whole thing will run again. So will this create a new function or no? Is it a copy of the old function, or it is a new function created? Rakesh is saying copy. Kate is saying false. That means a new copy is created. No, that means the old copy is there. Or that means the old version is there. Okay, let me write it down. I want the answer from everyone. Everyone should answer me. If you're not answering it, new copy is created. Okay, Shweta is saying new copy is created. So let me see. Kate is saying false. That means copy. And Rakesh is saying copy. That means the old copy is created. Shweta is saying new copy is created. What about Ashok? Because whenever the state changes, all these lines are rerun again. So my question is whether this handle change will create a new copy or old copy. I did understand or I did not understand. I didn't understand. Okay, so let me explain you again. I will put console.log state is, okay, you did not understood the question. So let me explain you the question. Okay, we have state here also, forget about this one. Okay, let me run this page and I will show you what I mean. So do you see the state? Okay, now whenever I will change something in the notes, you see the new copy of the you see the console.log of the state, and I see the value of the notes. So when I change something in the notes, this whole all lines are re-rendered again. When re-rendered again, so my question is this function is a old copy which was rendered before I type S, or it's a new copy of this function? Since every line is re-rendered, whether this a new copy. Okay, so Ashok is saying new copy. Let me see. Okay, Kate is also saying new copy. Rakesh, are you on the same copy or new copy? New copy, right? So it was not old copy, it is new copy. Ashok is also saying new copy. How about the get result? How about this function? Is it a new copy or old copy? Shweta, old copy. Ashok, old copy. Kate, what about you? There is no use effect used here. Due to use effect, I don't use effect here. I use effect here. So the answer for this is, the answer for the get results is, for get results, it is old copy. Why? The reason is we are using react.useCallback. Whenever we use react.useCallback, it will cache this function, and next time it will give me the old copy and it will not create a new function of this part. Okay, so get results is old copy because of use callback. What about handle submit? Is it a new copy every time or it's an old copy? New copy. Every time new copy. Since it is not using the use callback, so handle submit is also using the new copy. New copy. The reason is it is not using callback. Okay, so this handle change is new copy. Get results is old copy because we use callback, and handle submit is using new copy. Let me create one button here, and I'll say counter, and I will give the value of state.counter to see what is the value of counter is there, and on click of this button I will update the counter value. Okay, so I'll say set state, and inside it I will pass arrow function, and inside arrow function we get st, and I will return this. Everyone knows how to update the state. I will take the previous value of state and I will update the counter with state.counter plus 1. So whatever is the old value, I will add 1 to it, and I will update the state value. So let's go here, and once I click counter, you will see Counter is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So counter is updating here. Is that clear? Counter is updating every time I click the counter. Now let me go to the add component, and here I will do console.log. Add component is called. So I want to see when is the add component is called. Okay, so let's check it. So you will see state is there and add component is called. And whenever I increase the counter, I am also calling add component, though I am updating the state. Let me put something in this notes. I am every time I am calling add component. Whenever I am changing something in the notes, I am calling this add component. Is that clear? Add component is called every time when I change anything on this page. Even if I change the counter, I'm seeing add component is called. Now, I don't want add component to be called every time, because if any of this is changed, then only add component should be called. If notes is not changed, why should I re-render everything? I don't want to call everything if none of this is changed. And if all of this is changed or any one of this is changed, then I want to re-render it to see the new value. So for that, what should I do in this component? What change I should use? No state. How can I make sure that if any one of these props is changed, then only this component should re-render? These are the props. I want to make sure when props is changed, then only this component should re-render. No value, no state.
How about put a handle change and handle submit with callback? Wrap those two with callback.
Callback.
Right.
Where should I change here? Callback means what?
Not here, in the home page.
Where? Callback means what? Where should I put? Okay, use callback, you're saying. Use callback. Right? You're saying use callback.
Here. Yeah, here.
Yeah, even if I call the use callback, which I will do eventually, but if I have to do some change in the add component so that whenever the props is changed, then only add component should render. Irrespective of use callback or not, whenever any of this is changed, then only I should call this component. I should not call this component unless these three are changed. I explained you a few days back.
This statement.
We have to use react.memo. If you have attended a few days back lecture, it's called the react.memo. React.memo means if any of the props is changed, then only this component should be called. If none of this is changed, then we should not call this component. If notes is changed, we will call this. If handle change is changed, we will call this. If handle submit is changed, we will call this component. If we put react.memo automatically put this component in the cache. and it will only load when we change any of this. Is that clear? Is that clear, this part? Okay. So React.memo, always use the React.memo. It will make sure that if any of this is changed, then only it will render this part. Otherwise, it will not render it. Now if I change the nodes, it makes sense that add component is called because in the add component we have the nodes. If I'm changing the nodes, I should render this add component. So this is working fine. If I am changing the nodes, and add component is called. So this makes sense, right? Is it right or wrong?
Right, should be.
Right,
Yeah.
because nodes is changed and we should definitely call the add component. Okay, that is why we have that. But when I change the counter, do you think add component should be called?
No.
No, because when I change the counter, only nodes is changed, but nodes is not changed. So we should not call the add component. But see what is happening here. When I click counter, still add component is called. Why? The reason is it is also calling handle change and handle submit. And whenever some change is happening in the state, there is a new copy created for the handle change, and the new copy is created for the handle submit. So though I have not changed the nodes, these nodes, but because of handle change and handle submit, we are creating a new copy of handle change and handle submit, and because of that, add is called again. Is that clear? Why it is called? Because handle change is creating a function, a new function every time. Handle submit is also creating a new function every time, and that is the reason add is called again. Let's try to put handle change in the callback. I put the handle change in the callback. Now what will happen whenever we run this file? This is cached and we are not running this function again. So that means the copy is not created. This is the old copy, the first time it was created. Now if I run it, okay, some problem in the use callback. It's fine. This is fine. Okay, what is the problem? Compile successfully saying. Okay, now if I change the counter, still add component is called. The reason is though we have put the use callback on the handle change, so it is using the old copy, but still handle submit is taking new copy. Okay, because of handle submit is taking use copy, we are going inside this one. Now let's try to put handle submit also in the callback. Now once I put handle submit in the callback, we will get a dependency warning, and dependency warning will be for the get results and the nodes, because handle submit is using nodes also, handle submit also using the get results. So these are the two things which comes from external part, which comes from the outside this function, like here and here. So we need to include that dependencies here. So here I will say nodes and get results, because these are the two dependencies for the handle submit. Now I don't see any dependency warning. Now let's see the page. Now if I change the nodes, definitely add component will be called, because either of three should be changed. If any of the three is changed, then we call the add component. Because add component is called if notes is changed or handle change is changed or handle submit is changed. So if I change the notes, definitely it will call the add component. But what will happen if I change only the counter? What do you think? Will it call add component or no? Rakesh is saying no. Kate is saying no. Shweta, no answer. Ashok, no answer. Why yes? Shweta is saying yes. Why yes? Why add component will call when I change only the counter? We have handle change in the callback, so it is not the new copy. We have handle submit in the callback, so it is not the new copy. We have notes which we are not changing it. We are keeping it same. So why add component will be called if I change only the counter? Yes, add is called when notes or handle change or handle submit is changed. But now if I change the counter, Shweta is saying yes, add component will be called. So my question to Shweta is why yes? When I am only changing the counter.
If count is changing, everything is changing now, sir. Again.
If count is changing, counter is changing, notes is not changing.
Except notes, everything is changing.
But handle change is calling use callback. Use callback means it is getting the copy of that function. So this function is also not changing because we are getting the back copy, old copy. We are not creating the new copy. This handle submit is also using use callback, so it is also getting the copy. It is not creating the new function. If I would have not used use callback, it was copy. But now, when counter is changed, everything is using the cache version. It is not creating the new version. And notes, we are not changing it. So why yes? Or you want to change your answer to no?
I don't know, it is no my answer. Why I can't justify? But my answer
no, but logically, think more logically. No?
Logically, what you are telling is correct. Everything callback is there for handle change and handle submit. For notes, everything callback function we are calling use callback. So it should not change actually.
Yeah, then be confident. And if I click counter now, it's calling only the state. It's not calling the add component. Because notes is not changed, handle change is not changed, handle submit is not changed. And that is the reason we are not calling the add component. N number of times I'll click counter, it will not change. It will not call because it is taking the old version of the copy. But as soon as I change the notes by typing something here, add component is called. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now, since I have not used the use callback here, Kate was asking use callback, why we are not using the use callback. So I wanted to use callback after I was done with the project, or till this was the learning project, so I was not taking care of this. We are not taking care of this use callback too much because it was just learning. I don't care if it is re-render it again and again, but when I want to make something good one or professional one or to production release one, I will use the use callback so that it should not call it unnecessary components which is not needed. So generally React people, developers, they forget putting use callback and they use memo, and because of that it is called many times, and they don't take use of this properly. Okay, so if we know this concept that if we use callback and use memo, then it will render much faster than comparatively what it is doing now. I have seen many big companies, they don't put memo because they don't have much experience of putting memo or use callback. So we should always use these three things, and we should always selectively pass the things to the new component. If I pass state here instead of notes, then even if I change the counter, add will call every time. So now here I selectively pass only the nodes. So whenever the nodes is changed, then only call the add component. So use callback is separate hook and use effect is separate hook. You cannot mix both the things. Do not mix both the things. Use this separately with different reason and use this separately with different reason. Okay,
Sir,
so do not mix anything.
Both the output will be same, right? Sir, just it is taking more time in running, right? If you are not using use callback.
Right. Right. So use effect is generally used when you want to call something on the page load. Okay, so generally use effect is called add for that purpose. But use callback is used because we need to pass this handle submit in another component, and that another component should not re-render it again and again. That's why we use the use callback. Is that clear? And if nodes is changed, then handle submit is recreated it because we have the dependencies. These are the dependencies. So whenever the nodes is changed, then handle submit is re-rendered. That's fine. It's fine. But when we call, when we update the state like counter, it should not call the add component. Okay, so this was a short thing about the use callback, which you need to know why we are using use callback. Generally, try to put everything in the use callback because this will help you to cache the function. Okay, so most of the functions I will put it in the use callback. What will happen? See, I'm putting this get results as a dependency here also and here also. Let's say if I move this get results function, outside this component here, okay, and then let's remove the use callback because use callback is only inside the function. We cannot use it outside the function. And let's say if I pass state here, okay. So when I move something outside the this component, then we don't need use callback because since this is outside the component, if I run this component also, this will not rerun again and again. This will, because it is outside the component, it will run only one time when the page will load. So if I put get results outside my component, then use callback is not needed, and all the dependencies which we have, we can remove the dependencies because this get results is outside our component. So sometimes I also put function outside the component, so that I should not use the callback and it will optimize my website because it will run only one time when we load the page since it is outside the component. Okay. But that I will talk tomorrow about this one. Okay, let's talk this tomorrow. Right now, think that the get results is inside the component and we are using the callback. So we will talk this tomorrow. Remind me that if we put this get result outside the component, then I will show you some more demo how to use it if it is outside the component. Okay, so let's talk this about tomorrow. Okay, Rakesh, what you're asking? Use memo, we are not done. What is that? I don't understand. Oh, you are talking about use memo instead of use callback? There is another concept called as react.useMemo. There is another concept useMemo which I will take after few days because if I take now, it will confuse with your use callback. So don't worry about this one. useMemo. Okay, let's delete this one. But there is what I have used in the add component memo, and I have explained memo a few days back. What memo does? If any of the props is changed, then this component will run. If I use memo, if I don't use memo, then every time it will run. See, now I'm using memo, and when only I change the counter, add is called. Let's check the demo again. So when I change the counter, add component is not called. What will happen if I remove the memo? Will it call again and again, or it will not call? Tell me, if I remove the memo, will add component will be called every time when I change the counter? Yes or no? Now if I change the counter, for example, if I change the counter, will add component will be called or no? Yes, call every time. See, every time it is calling. Because we remove the memo. Memo will make sure that if any of the props is changed, then only call this component. Otherwise not. Now, see. Okay, so this is a short intro. Let's delete this one. And we will use this React memo everywhere in the display count also, and in the list also. Okay, everywhere we will call this memo, so that it should cache and it should not call the component unless the props are changed. Okay, is that clear? Shall we go further? Someone is saying teach us Redux. Okay, so I told you we are starting this campaign management in couple of days. Okay, once I feel that you're clear with this one, then I will start that one, this campaign management. And this one I will push this to the production version. You will see it live in the public domain. Okay, so here we will be using the Redux and many more things. Okay, so this is the real website. It will be real website. It will be live, and so we will be doing Redux and many other things here in this one. Okay, let's go further. So I told you yesterday we get the results and we are saving in the state in the name of the results, and to display the results. So right now I will not do pagination for this exercise today. I will just finish this with this results right now. Pagination we have already done, and you can go through that pagination, and when we do the campaign management we will do pagination again in the real world scenario. So right now we will just display the results, and most of us has done the display part and they send me the private chat, and I will do it and I will ask you the things all this one. So since I want to show the results in the list page, in this list page, I need to pass the results here. Okay, so I will say I will not pass state as whole, because if I pass state, you know that it will re-render it again and again, because whenever the state will change, the list will be called again and again. So I will just say results equal to state.results. Okay, so let me see when results is called. Okay, and I will get this results as the props. Whenever something should come, we will put results in the props like this. Do you know this? Is this clear how to get the props? Is anyone who don't know that how to get the props? This is the props. Whatever you are passing here, it has to be captured here like this. You can do like this also. You can get the props and you can do results, props.results. You can use this way also, but simplest way is just create the curly bracket and get the results, which is coming from the previous page. Now we will see how the results are coming on the page. So when the page load, results is called. Okay. Now let's change the counter. See, list page is not called. Only when result changes, list page will be called. So for example, when I change notes, okay, let's call the add component here. Okay, let's call the add component so that I can see which component is called. Okay, so when the page load, results is changed, so we are able to see the list page result at this amount. So when I change the notes, will the result page will the list page will come here or no? When I change the notes, when I'm changing counter, result is not coming. When I change the notes, only add component is called, no the result component. But when I click add my notes, will the result component come here or no? Yes. Why yes? Because when I click add my notes, get results is called, which will update the results state variable. Yes. So when I click the add, it will go to the database and we will call the get result. Get result will update the result state variable. So we will be able to see the results part. See, results part is coming here. Okay, so let's go here now again. So we are getting the results here. Now we have to display the results. This results is in the array format. Since it is the array format, let's use the UL tag. And inside UL tag, I will loop through the results. To loop through, we will use map function of the array. So I will say results.map and map as the arrow function. So make sure you remember this one. I will ask this next time. Yeah, Ashok Kumar, I saw it is right. You have right. It's right. So whenever you have the array, you can use the map function. And the map function, you can pass the record. And record will be nothing but each record which we get in the results. And we need to return something here, li tag, for example. Now I want you to chat or give me the answer. What should be inside this li tag? What should I put? How the li tag should be constructed? Ashok has already given me the li tag. I want everyone should write it here. What you will put inside the li tag, or what should be this part? Just paste in the chat privately. Okay, Shweta has written. Okay, notes is small letter. So if you say rec.get, it should be small letter notes. So everyone is right. We have to pass the key because this is the array. Whenever you write array in the React, you need to pass the key, and key is nothing but the rec.id. And when you are putting the value, you will say rec.get, and notes should be a small letter, because we saved it as a small letter. If we would have said it in the capital letter, it would be capital letter. Now, the thing is that there is one problem in this. When I render it, you will see since this is the rich text editor, so everything is coming in the HTML part, but HTML is not rendered. it is giving me the HTML part. Okay, so we need to fix this part because we don't like to see like this. Okay, so let's fix that one. So there is a module which we install, and that module is called React Render HTML. So we'll take use of this one. So we use results or notes. See this notes is nothing but when you put in the add form, this is updated, that one. But when we want to display it, display comes in the format of the results. So all the data is in the results. So you cannot take notes. You cannot take notes to display the results, because whatever data is there in the database, it will come in the results format, in the results variable. And whatever you put in the form, that is in the notes. So you cannot take notes. It is the results. This we are getting the results. Now we have to call import render HTML from React Render HTML. Let me go to this one. Okay, I will open this render. I open this file React Render HTML, which is this file, and we have the function called as render HTML. Okay, we'll take use of that one. So this is the render HTML. So if you see, it is exporting render HTML. Okay. So I took the render HTML and I will wrap the render HTML around my variable. Once I wrap this, whatever HTML is inside this, it will render it in the HTML format. So let me refresh it. So now you will see everything is rendered in the format. So here, let's say I'm typing, this is my title. This is body. Something I am putting like this. And then I'm putting some YouTube URL. For example, this one. Let's take the YouTube URL. I took the YouTube URL and then I'll copy, I'll make this bold. I'll make some part bold. I'll take, okay, so let's add my notes. Okay, so this warning is coming because of YouTube one, which we can fix it in some time. We'll fix it, but this is the warning, don't need to worry about. But anyhow, we need to fix that also. But that is a little tricky part, which I don't want to take now, but we will take it sometime in future, how to remove this warning. But at least you will see this is my title and I can see the HTML body and that this is a video. I can see the video. I can maximize it. I can minimize it. Okay, so this you can do. Whatever you want, you can put HTML here. Able to see it. Is that clear? Okay, so let me commit. Let me commit all what I did today, because we are done with the short application. Only this counter is remaining. I can pass the counter here like this. Count is equal to state.results.length. So since the results is the array, I can say dot length. Dot length means how much elements are there in the results, which I pass as a counter in the display. And in the display counter, I will get the count, and I'll say total records are count. Okay, so we say this one. Here also I'll say, So whenever the results is changed, we will also call this display counter component. So if I refresh this, we are getting this total records are 8. If I add more, you will see total records are 9. So what I did, I just passed the results dot length, how many array elements are there, and I gather it here as a count. I display it as a count. Okay, so this is a small website, and you did most of the part, and I hope you have cleared everything. All the concepts are cleared about this one, and even if it is not clear, go through this project again and again, do it again and again, so that it is clear, all the things are clear. Though we have not displayed the error properly, we just put error 1, but it doesn't matter, you know the idea, we're displaying the error. So this is a short project which we did, and this is the basics of all the projects. Whatever I'm doing currently in my company, actually it comes with the knowledge which we have in this project. I don't have any other knowledge I use to build any project. So this is the basics of all the projects which we build in the React.js. So if you have mastered this project again and again, you can almost do anything, whatever is asked. Is that clear? Okay, now let me commit it, so you can take all the files from my side. Maybe since today was the only explanation day, so you might have not copied it. I'll say git add, git commit, git pull, okay, git push. Okay, so though we have not used the live thing, which I explained you, the live query, we will be using it now when we build the real project. I just explained this, go through this video again and again, master all these file lines, each line and why each line is created. Just master all these concepts, so that when we go for this campaign management, you should be aware of all the things. Now we will do together all this campaign management. I will ask one person to do one part, another person to do another part, another person to do third part, another person to do fourth part. And once you all do all your 4 part, I will take your code and merge it in my directory, and then everyone can take from my directory, so that it is updated on your. Then again, I will give you 4 tasks, 4 or 5 tasks, and depending on the number of people in the class. And then you do that one, and once you commit it, I will take your code and I will explain it. Maybe if you have done incorrectly, I will correct it and I will do it again in my folder, and you can take it from my folder, so that everyone is on the same page. Okay, let's talk this campaign management again. We'll discuss today, and we'll start with from tomorrow. This I have just write yesterday, but let me write it again. Okay, let me write it again. So let's work with the campaign management. So campaign management works like this. First, a user will come and he will register on our website. If he has not registered, he can only view the website. He cannot type anything. He cannot put anything. He can just view the site and go away. That's fine. But let's think about a user will come and register, then log in, and he can log out also. He can call the forgot password also. Whatever he want, he can do. So for example, I will go, and maybe Kate is going, Rakesh is going. These all 4 users register on my website. That is the idea. Okay, so all these are the now logged in users. Now let's say Rakesh goes and create a new campaign. What is the purpose of campaign is? My purpose of this campaign website is that, let's say I want to stand for the election. I want supporters. So I want people to join my campaign, and the users will join my campaign, and I can send the message to them, I can chat with them, I can do many things with them. So that is my idea, that I want to start some topic and it should go towards all the public. For example, another concept is, maybe I can say whatever we could say, don't eat non-veg, for example. Some Indians, they don't like non-veg. They think that it is sin. God will punish them, something like that. So you can create a campaign, don't eat non-veg, and the people who don't eat non-veg, they will join your campaign and they will watch the videos which you will put, or they will chat with other people, or they will put like newsfeed. Facebook newsfeed is there. They can put anything about this one. So consider this, it is a Facebook kind of thing, newsfeed, but topic is only this one. Okay, so topic should be like this. So it's kind of campaign which you want to create. For example, I want that Trump should win. One example. So I'll say Trump 2024. Okay, let's say Rakesh don't want Trump to win. He wants Biden to win. So he will create a campaign called as Biden 2024, right? So I will put all the videos, or all the chat will be related to what I like, and he will create whatever he likes. Something, this is a topic where we call it as a campaign. That's what. And I want supporters for that campaign, and I want to see from which cities of the world who is in my campaign. So that, for example, I want to see that every city should have my supporters. I can see that also. Something like that, we will build it. So Rakesh will come, he will create a new campaign. He will name it, for example, Biden 2024. Okay. And then Manish will come, he will create another campaign. Maybe he will say Trump 2024. Then comes Kate. Kate will come, she will create another campaign. Maybe she likes Zumba exercise, so she will say Zumba exercise. Okay, something like this. Okay, and then Shweta will come. Let's say she likes movies, so she will say maybe action movies or whatever movie she likes. She will create that campaign, and she will just people can search this campaign and they can join themselves, or you can share in the Facebook or everywhere you want to do. You can share, or you can invite others in your campaign. Okay, this is the part you will do. And once the campaign is created, let's say you invited other people, they will join. So there should be a join button or unjoin. So someone who has joined, they can unjoin it. When someone joins the campaign, we will see the members. Who are the members of this campaign? Let's say Manish joined his campaign. Rakesh is already there in the campaign as an admin of the campaign. Let's say Kate also joins his campaign, and Shweta also joins his campaign. Okay, and then what Rakesh will do, he will create the task. He will create the tasks, because those who joined it, Rakesh wants them to actively participate or actively listen to what he wants to say about the campaign. So he will create the task. What task he will create? Task 1. He may put YouTube video that what Biden has done good things, or what Trump has done good things. Depending on the title, he will put the video. Task 1. He will create as many tasks as he wants. He can create upload PDF file, or he will give some link, or he will give some story which he wants to share. He will just publish that story. Okay, or he will upload some images which he wants everyone to watch. Now those who are members, their job is to go through each task. Even admin has to go through each task though he has created, and he has to complete that task. That means if he has put the YouTube video, he has to complete the YouTube video, watch the video and mark it as done. Okay, so and maybe he has those who are there, they should go to the PDF and they say mark it done, that they have read the PDF. And it's not dependent that if you complete task 1 then only go to task 2. Let's say Kate don't want to watch video. She will go and see the link, she will story, and she will go to images, see the images, but she will skip these two for now. So they will just mark that this is done, this is done, this is done, but these two are pending. So every member of the campaign should go to each task and mark it as done. Okay, so whatever task they done, it will be visible. So there will be some report page where admin can see that member, let's say Kate, has done which tasks are done. Kate completed task, pending task, which is pending task, or pending or completed. He will see Manish completed his completed task or whatever it is. He will see all these things. Okay, and that, so he can see the report of all the users. I'm not sure whether Manish can see the report of Kate or Shweta, because that may be the privacy that Manish don't want to share, that I have gone through all this, maybe. So only admin can see it for now. Or I can see my own. Right? I can see my own, or admin can see it. So that is another thing we have to do. And there will be, once I go to the campaign, there will be news feed. News feed means user will post something like in Facebook, post something, and other people can comment on it. Okay, what else? Okay, I'll be back in 2 minutes. Okay, so we will start this tomorrow, and I have to go somewhere. So we'll start this tomorrow. So today's class will end here. Okay. Thank you very much. See you tomorrow.